All right, guys, we got Kyle Loftus, owner of 1320 Video. He started it. He kind of, maybe it's a little aggressive to say, you kind of invented what we all do on social media and bringing it to people because to start, I guess, let me explain how I imagined it started and maybe I'm wrong.
Sure.
So you started by filming racing because you thought it was fun and then you posted it on forums. Yeah. And forums were a thing that people probably don't know about. And then it became to a point where you sold DVDs, right?
Yep.
And then the DVDs, and then YouTube came out, and then you went to YouTube. I feel like I'm explaining your origin story, but I'm also kind of imagined, because that's how I've always imagined it, and maybe I was wrong.
Pretty accurate, yeah. And I started off with guerrilla marketing on message boards because that was the only thing we had for social media back then.
You see even message boards, like people are like, what are you talking about?
Some people. A few still around.
Is there still message boards?
Yeah, LS1 Tech, SVT Performance.
Oh, I was just talking to the guy that founded LS1 Tech.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Tony, right?
Yep, Tony Watley. Mm-hmm. Great dude.
So you started there. So you started on just...
I started this spamming? Just because I have some weird obsession for taking photos and videos of like everything. Mm-hmm. And I got into, I think I got that from my grandpa. And I was in car audio and pretty much everyone that's in car audio eventually goes to fast cars or they just lose all their money spending on stereo equipment. And I just had this really weird obsession with finding different ways of sharing what I shot with more and more and more people. So I thought it was cool, and turns out other people did too.
You know, I've talked to Nick Leo about this a bunch of times because he's kind of the same way as you, where he just filmed everything even before he had somewhere to put it all. Mm-hmm. And not many people started that way now, because now everybody's like, oh, I just want to make $1 million off of being a YouTuber.
Sure.
Versus starting with like, oh, I just filmed everything, so I needed an outlet for it. And I think it's more of the real way to start, probably, is liking the process and liking the filming more than liking the end result.
I had no dreams of making $1 doing it. I was just doing it for fun.
Really? So, yeah. I mean, you were buying a good amount of equipment to just do it for fun then.
Oh, I started off on little point and shoot. Like, the cell phones couldn't take any sort of good media at the time. It was just, pretty sure I had a flip phone at the time. Yeah, definitely a flip phone. And so I had a little... Canon ELPH. I still have like 6 of them in my camera graveyard in my basement. And it shot video, but it was like 240p and photos. So I'd take photos and videos at car stereo competitions. And the next one I go to, I'd sell a CD for $5 to people from the last trip to pay for my trip I was on.
So I guess it probably also worked out that you didn't.
So I guess I was making money in the beginning, but it wasn't. It was just a hustle to keep going to different competitions. It was really because I didn't have any money.
To the next one. It worked out that you didn't go deep into car stereo stuff, because if you tried to build like the car stereo side of things to this size, probably wouldn't have panned out.
There's not that big an audience for that.
Not anymore, at least. Maybe there was.
It's still pretty big. It's just like a subculture, like anything else, but
seems very small.
Yeah.
Very, like, niche in a niche.
I'm not sure which I lost more hearing with. I don't know, but I didn't use earplugs with stereos, so we're better off today.
Yeah. And you had a stereo car at the time.
My first car was a 95 Neon. Bought it for $3,500 from my dad. Mm-hmm. And the craziest stereo I had in there was 615s in a wall, 25 cubic foot box, which is like the size of this table, just the whole back seat. 10 batteries in the trunk and 5 amplifiers. And
it's funny too, because like when you're thinking stereo contest, it doesn't really matter what you start with as much as like a race car.
No, it's just for fun.
It's just what
there's different classes.
You can build something into any car, really. I mean, you're talking a Neon. Didn't matter what it had.
There's certain cars that are better for stereo competitions, like hatchbacks are really good.
Do you still upgrade your stereos much in your cars?
I have stock in everything.
Is that because you have a bit of a modified car curse, or is that because...
I'm burnt out on car stereos. And newer cars have really good stereos to begin with now.
They've almost, like the newer cars almost forced stereos out.
Yep.
Where you don't put a head unit in, you don't put anything in. Because they kind of force that realm out of existence almost.
I got pretty deep into that world. It was a lot of fun. Went to some pretty big stereo competitions. One of my favorite moments was meeting Alma Gates, who was a big partner of Kicker, and she had this Bronco that set a bunch of like Guinness World Records with like 64 10-inch subs. She was this gray-haired like 65-year-old lady, just having a blast.
Just die hard, as loud as possible.
Yeah. Still stay in touch with Wayne Harris, who runs DB Drag Racing, which is one of the big car stereo competition groups.
Oh, that's cool. Have you guys filmed any of those like since?
No, that could actually be kind of fun. That could be fun to go a big competition, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen one in. The only time I ever see a stereo contest are like old videos and old
it's
photos.
Still around. It's still around for sure.
Yeah, I'm not used to the current. And then, so the DVD stuff is interesting because there's a few, like a small handful of people that sold DVDs.
Yep.
And
there was a small window of time where it was something you could do as an amateur, and then it got phased out.
It's like you, Ferretti, and
that's right.
And
Urban Hillbilly. Urban Hillbilly had a big DVD business.
Yep.
Yeah, Andrew Hawkins. I've got like 30 of his DVDs. I think he's made like 40 some. He's got me beat. I think I was up to like 20, probably 32-ish.
Oh, wow.
My first one I authored was like probably 2 or 3 years into filming when I was working at Stereo West. That was my dream job. I was working in college, and I couldn't figure out how to actually author the DVD and put like the chapters on it. And so I don't know how I got a hold of him. Maybe it was on MySpace or something. I made a post because Facebook wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And my friend reached out to me, and he did a lot of DVD authoring because he owned a porn company. I went to high school with him, and he moved down to Florida. And so my first 2 DVDs were actually authored by the same company that made his stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you own one of my Volume 2 DVDs, the first batch, and you have a Pioneer or Sony DVD player, which happened to be the same brand that I had in our screening at UNO, 300 people, including my friends and family, if you hit the pause button, it puts his screensaver up instead of mine. So my friends noticed the 20-foot beaver, 30-foot beaver.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what's in there?
Yeah. If you have a run of the first 500 DVDs, you get a little surprise in
That's
there.
quite a big oops.
Yeah.
Because presumably a lot of people would pause the DVD.
Yeah, I did in the middle of the screening.
Yeah, you would think.
Just a couple seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal to pause a DVD, especially if a street racer, you're like, oh, let me pause and rewind a little bit.
So
what was the first one on?
Street racing.
Okay. Yeah. Was it Texas streets or was it?
No, it was Omaha. Mainly Omaha. We also went down to Kansas City a lot. The first one was just a lot of amateur stuff. Volume one was pretty much just Omaha. A little bit of track racing. I did a few features in it. The second one, we went down to Kansas City for some street racing, and I think it was just KC and Omaha. But I sold a few thousand. It wasn't bad, especially when you're in college.
Awesome. Yeah.
And that was all just through guerrilla marketing, literally just posting links in message boards. There was no social media. There was no YouTube. And then eventually, and that was why I was resistant to moving over to YouTube, was because I put links to my website so people would look at the DVDs and the merchandise on my website. Mm-hmm. And so I worried that if I didn't do that, then people wouldn't buy the merchandise. Like, they wouldn't see my website. And that was back when you couldn't make money on YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, YouTube didn't have advertising for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So you were worried that putting on YouTube wouldn't sell the DVDs?
Exactly, because they would just see it on YouTube and they'd see all they needed.
That's interesting.
Then I started putting ads in the YouTube videos. It worked out.
You put your own ads in before YouTube even had ads?
I would just put like a little caption. Like, I didn't show my face on my videos for like 8 years. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, buy DVDs at 1320video.com, put a link in the description.
And at that time, nobody really had any other way to watch any racing of any kind like that.
Yeah, I actually hosted my videos originally on Parrish with the blue Chevy pickup. He had a server somewhere, and then I started using a lot of his bandwidth. And then I eventually moved it over to a computer in my dorm room. Not my dorm room, my friend's dorm room, who was the friend of the system admin for the dorms. And then I had a video go viral, and it took down the whole campus's internet. And then he kicked me out of that. So then I had to start paying for server space.
So it went viral, which, I mean, what is that, couple 100,000 at the time to really crash the server?
It was about $500,000 in a week.
Okay.